Hi guys, this is Paul DiGiorgio, and I'm going to demonstrate for you how to use the Fit Improvisation function in Sonar. I'm using Sonar X3 Producer, and I have a Korg Kronos keyboard. I'm going to go through this real quick so you can use it as a reference, and then when I've gone through it once, I'll go through it a second time slowly and show you all the steps that I'm doing. So right now I already have a project. It has 2 MIDI tracks. You can record. It doesn't matter if it's MIDI or pure audio. I'm doing this in MIDI. I'm going to do a recording right now. I've got the metronome during record turned off. So I'm just going to do something that I've already written, and I'm going to kind of drag and speed up the tempo as I'm playing it, so you can see what we can do with the tempo reference track. So let's get this started and set you to record and go. Okay, as you can tell, I was going faster and slower just to get a good sample here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my staff view so you can see how ugly this is if you try and look at it in the staff view. Alright, so I'm going to drag this to the beginning of the project, and now what we're going to go to is the tempo reference track. Tempo reference track is just a straight MIDI track. This one does have to be MIDI. I've assigned, the first one was a piano, this one is a clavichord sound, and what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to tap along to the recording that I've already done. So here we go. Alright, so as you can hear, I basically made a click track. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my click track, and I'm going to go to Process, Fit Improvisation. Now, let me back this up to the beginning again. Now, take a look at what happens with the staff notation when I do this. So, Process, Fit Improvisation, and hey, look at that. Looks way cleaner. And you'll notice that the tempo went from the default 120 down to an 87.7, and it'll change as we're going along. So now we're going to mute the tempo track, the reference track, and we're going to see how the tempo changes. Notice how it's going to change right here, and you're going to notice in the staff notation that it's actually following the beats. Here we go. See, the tempo's changing, and the notes are following the measures. Alright, so that's the quick basics of how to do a fit improvisation. So now we're going to close it out. Oop. So we'll fire up Sonar. We're going to do this one right from scratch. So we're going to do a new project. I'm going to use a template that I've already created. Father Demo 2. This template, as you'll see, has 4 MIDI and 4 audio tracks. It's what I tend to use as my starting plate for all of my projects. However, I don't need all of these. I don't need to see all of these for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Tracks and to my Track Manager. The shortcut for that is just to hit the letter F on your keyboard. I'm going to hide everything that I don't need, and I only need the 2 tracks. In this case, it's going to be a MIDI, but it could be an audio performance. The second one does have to be a MIDI. Your reference track does have to be a MIDI track. So all of those vanish. And now I'm going to hit the letter F to fit my tracks to my window. So I get these 2 gigantic tracks, and if there was just one track, you would just have a gigantic track right there. I'm going to have a piano on this track and a clavichord on the second track. So the first track, we're going to use a Jordan Rudess sound. And for our reference track, we're going to grab a clavichord sound. Lovely. All right, so we'll do this recording again. One of the gotchas with this is the tempo that you tap has to be the beats in the measure. So in this case, the piece that you just heard that I played before is written in 3/4. So my beats are on my quarter notes, which is. But if I was playing a piece that had a different measure, different meter to it, say for instance, if it was written in 6/8, so if I was doing a, I would be tapping in that case. I would be tapping because the 8th note is getting the beat in the measure. For the piece that I'm doing now, the beats in that are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's what I'm going to tap out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So just so you understand, what you're tapping is the beats in the measure. Okay, so we are going to turn off our metronome during record because, well, obviously we don't want to be playing along to a click track. That's the whole point of this. I'm going to arm my first track to record, and now I'm going to play that piece again. Something I wrote for my dad probably about 12 years ago now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag that track to the very beginning of the project. So now we have our first track recorded, and now we're going to record our reference track. And if we want to name them, we got piano and tempo reference. So now we're going to record this guy. Alright, so now we're going to tap along. I'm just going to record and tap along. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up staff view for both of these. And then I'm going to resize this guy. And I'll make the staff view a little bit larger. Alright, we really don't need to see the click track in this, so I'll drag this down a little bit. But as you see, these notes do not at all follow any kind of tempo. They're all over the place. It's just a big old hot mess. So now that we have that first note, we got to bounce these both to a single clip, excuse me. Bounce to clips, because you have to have a single clip to use as your tempo reference. Otherwise Sonar will not be able to follow it. Oops, open up the console. There we go. So now we have, let's back out a little bit. A tempo that follows our playing. So let's just listen to it real quick. Okay, don't want to put you through that. So now what we're going to do is select our reference track. And we are going to process Fit Improvisation. Now again, watch the staff notation down here at the bottom, because you're going to see it make a whole lot more sense in just a moment. And there we go. So we mute our reference track, and we take a look as it's playing along. Now notice up here the tempo is going to be changing, and it's going to do that continuously as it follows your click track. There it goes. And that is it. I hope you found this video helpful. Please feel free to subscribe, comment, and like, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks very much.